Did you know that a staggering 78% of Namibians hold a bank account? Yet, only 31% of Namibians have access to credit facility. A meager 12% of Namibians can afford to buy their homes, which is almost 9 in 10 Namibians who are not homeowners. We ask ourselves, why? We have a progressive problem. A problem not only affecting our nation, Namibia, but also the entire continent. It's a problem so close to my heart, and it requires a dedicated resources. It requires a dedicated demand, our immediate demand, to be part of this problem. That problem is limited access to financial services. You might ask, how is financial inclusion a societal problem in Namibia? I grew up here in the heart of Mondesa. Amidst its dusty street stood a 2-bedroom house. That is included in that a kitchen and a sitting room. We had no indoor toilet facilities, only outdoors. Now imagine in this weather of Swakopmund. We were a family of 7. My 5 sisters, my hardworking mom, and me, the elder sibling. Our mom worked so hard, tirelessly, as a domestic worker for a healthy family to raise us single-handedly. As a child, my days were filled with many chores and responsibilities. To assist my mother in managing the family and to make ends meet. At some point, I started a small business selling fat cookies, a popular treat here in Namibia. Some days I will join my mom at the workplace, assisting her with the cleaning in that beautiful, sprawling 6-bedroom house of her employer. That contrast was very striking. While 6 of us were crammed in a tiny, small room with my mother's employer, each child held a room of her own, with no additional problems because the other rooms were left for the guest. My mother had a bank account. She still has that account, where her employer will deposit her small, tiny salary. However, even with that account, she could not afford or even access credit to expand the house, to grow fat cookies, or to even thoughtlessly funds to pay for us our studies at the tertiary educations. One of my most vivid memories was accompanying my mom to the bank. I was mesmerized by the simple act of a teller stamping a deposit slip. It was at that moment that I say, why can't I become a banker? If I become a banker, I can make a difference in my family's life. I hope that maybe, just maybe, a career in banking could help me to make a difference. I was so inspired, you won't believe it, that this dream was so big for me. But when I told my teacher, after they asked us, what are your inspiration or aspiration? I said, I want to be a banker. I want to work for the bank. I want to make a difference. My teacher looked me in my eyes and told me I was too stupid to work for a bank. No one can stop us from dreaming. No one can stop us from shaping our future for the better. And tonight, I want to share a vision, a change of hope. I'm happy to stand here before you today. Few years after my teacher told me that I could not make it. My name is Dr. Ester. I'm a CEO of a leading banking institution in Namibia. Now, who would have thought from being that little girl behind the other side of the teller, the one once told you are stupid, that one day I would have a chance not only to lead a bank, but to establish a bank from scratch and to run it successfully. A bank that caters for exactly who we were then. When the opportunity knocked at my door of becoming a CEO, immediately I knew this is it. Being at the helm of an institution that deeply resonates with my vision. An institution that is about unwavering, dedicated to elevating the marginalized community and champion the micro, small enterprises. I said to myself, this is it. So what's the big deal? Why are so many financially excluded? Throughout my journey, I observed certain findings. But let me simplify it by telling you a story in Malaysia. In 1997, 1998, Malaysia went through a crisis. But what they did, they went through a wide range of reforms. Firstly, what they did, they went to modernize the system, they strengthen it, and they expand it. The key was that the financial institution should serve the poor by offering convenient products and solutions at a very little fee, or offering certain services that are free of charge. They focus on availing resources to close the gap between the rich and the poor, the educated and the uneducated. This initiative have pushed Malaysia to reduce severe poverty in the nation. If Malaysia could do it, surely Namibia can do it. And you know what? Here is the secret. Financial inclusion stimulates entrepreneurship. It encourages savings and expands investment opportunity. It fuels the livelihood. Think about the young Ester with a family in a cramped tiny bedroom. Financial inclusion nurtures business opportunity, business development, and it leads to job creation, something we desperately need so much in Namibia. So if we truly desire economic prosperity, we must not only support the giants, but we must also look at the hand of the smallest business and individual, the like of the young Ester, those who make up 70% of our population. Let's together step out of our shoes for a moment and place this under a microscopic lens. Lack of flexibility and autonomy for financial inclusion to determine customer affordability. Secondly, the pace of technological and digital enablement What we have observed is that we are doing exceptionally well in the digital transformation, yet our legislative are not moving in the same direction. We can't be proudly say that we have arrived in Namibia. We do not operate in isolation, obviously. There is something such as the watchdog, and we have umbrella body to whom we are accountable for. However, the moment we understand these regulations, we all have a role to play. We all have a role to play to the changes we want to see in Namibia. These changes are faced from affordability to technological and digital enhancement. It does not only impact the institution, it also impacts the individual. It impacts you and me. It impacts the national agenda of eradicating poverty. Financial inclusion and access to credit are pivotal if we want to eradicate poverty. So what can we do? I'm fortunate in my current role that I can spark the change of the young Ester, the young women on the street, including the men on the street. Coming back to the young Ester, this is exactly the route we should take. My role as a leader and having in mind improving lives have introduced the affordability banking services that give me the inspiration each day when I go to work. And I can see the change. I can see people's life being transformed. The young Ester who are able to one day afford their own home because of the services we are bringing on board, run their own business, and helping the change of the statistic I just mentioned. I mean, 9 in 10 can't afford the homes. But we all have a role to play. We can foster financial inclusion by continuous collaboration with the regulatory bodies, by pushing the legislative reforms to encourage productive lending. Sit around the table, get alignment, get mutual understanding. What does it mean to talk about productive lending? What does it mean to talk about consumptive lending? Seek like-minded partner, get fund, and also be part of the national agenda. Most importantly, let's prioritize financial literacy. This is so key. You know what? An informed borrower is an empowered individual. Let us not just make this one of the TED Talks. Let's embrace the ideas, the stories, as well as the suggestions that have been brought here. We have a duty to change it. You, me, and we. We are more than bystanders. We are the catalyst of the transformation change, not only for ourselves, but for our community, our loved ones, our brothers and sisters out there, the unseen heroes. At this juncture, I want to acknowledge my mom, my heroine. If it was not for her, I probably would not have been here. It's time for us to unite. It's time for us to craft a new narrative. A narrative where every Namibian is entitled to a life of dignity and prosperity. While I've realized part of my dream to be in the bank, to make positive differences in people's life, the journey is far from finished. The statistics still haunt me. 31% no access to credit facilities. A mere 12% only them can afford homes. We must keep pushing the boundaries until these figures reflect the prosperity and inclusivity we envisage for our country. Together, let us light up a brighter and more inclusive horizon for not just Namibia, but the entire Africa. let me remind you, the spirit of the young Esther is all around us. In every hopeful gaze and every ambitious heart, I stand here, fueled by my past and future, ready to reshape the destiny. The question I leave with you is, are you ready to join me in this journey so that we hold each other's hand and stop pointing fingers? I thank you.